There's a famous quote that goes something like this: "You become what you think you are." And the more I think about that sentence, the more I realize how true it actually is. Because if you spend every day telling yourself that you're lazy, then you're probably going to start acting like somebody who's lazy. If you tell yourself you're not creative, then you're probably going to stop creating. But if you consistently tell yourself that you're capable and that you're disciplined and that you have a clear goal in your mind that you're going to reach, then eventually you will. You'll start acting like that person. This entire video stems from one main idea: that you become what you repeatedly think you are. I mean, just think about it. If you think, "Oh, I'm terrible at this," you're not going to try harder. You're going to accept that you're probably bad and that you can't change. You're less likely to try, or you'll give up quicker, and you'll even avoid opportunities. But if you change that mindset and thinking to, "I'm going to become good at this," then you'll practice more and you'll learn and you'll keep going and you'll notice the improvement, which is pretty much an example of my entire channel. But the idea is that how you see yourself influences what you do. And today I would like to talk about the power of self-belief and how it can get you literally anywhere in life. But first, we have to rewind a bit because identity comes first. Okay, so say you want to start a YouTube channel. For example, it could really be anything. It could be starting a band or some obscure niche thing, okay? It doesn't really matter. But instead of saying, "I want to make videos," think, "I'm a YouTuber," because instead of "I want to get it," you're thinking, "I'm somebody who looks after myself and I create things that I like." And you don't think this way because you've already earned the title. It's because you want to become that person. And then once you identify as that person, you'll naturally start asking yourself, well, what would that person do? And that, I think, really changes everything, because it sort of flips the preconceived ideas of what you will do as that person. And this is where your actions start following your belief. You can see it all the time in modern media. Just take Mr. Beast for example. Before he was Mr. Beast, he was just a kid making YouTube videos, and he became obsessed with understanding YouTube as a platform. I kid you not when I say he spent years making videos that barely anybody watched. But his identity was already, "I'm going to become really good at this," because he didn't have any other option. And he didn't wait until he had millions of subscribers to start thinking he was a successful creator. I guarantee you he had it in his head that he was already successful with, 10 subscribers, because he actually started and he was putting in the effort consistently enough to amass however many subscribers he has now. Except it wasn't always like that. He had to put in the consistent effort, and gradually over time he amassed his subscriber count. And that can really be done with anyone. It can be done with any activity too. It could be done with sports, it could be done with music, it could even be done with school. He acted like the person he wanted to become before he had the results to prove it. And that's the part I find interesting. The success didn't create the belief. In a lot of ways, the belief is actually what kept him doing the things that eventually created the success. And if you see yourself as any sort of creative person or any person who's in pursuit of greatness, then you'll eventually start making steps towards that title or towards that goal that you have. You don't become the person you want to be and then start acting like them. You start acting like them, and eventually you will become that person. You're not just sitting there waiting for it to happen. This is where it gets a bit interesting though, because the opposite is also true. If you adapt to a negative identity, like saying, "Oh, I'm awkward," and you avoid talking to people and you don't practice your social skills, then the cycle just repeats. It's really that simple. If you say, "I'm bad at school," then you end up not studying and you perform badly. And then you go, I knew I was bad at school." And it's again the same thing. And I think the important point here is that you don't necessarily start as the person you believe you are. You become them through repetition, through doing tasks that, get you to that point. For your thoughts to become you as a person, you have to actually believe it. You can't just say, "I'm going to become the greatest YouTuber ever," and then do absolutely nothing. Or say, "I'm going to make the best book. I'm going to become the fittest person alive," and then just don't hit the gym at all. It's because your brain knows you're lying to yourself. Instead, just think about the person you want to become and then start believing that it's genuinely possible. And you got to tell yourself that repeatedly, and then you'll end up acting accordingly. And when you do inevitably fail, just don't say, "See, I'm not that person." Just say, "Okay, now what would the person I'm becoming do now?" And that's a really, really, really strong question. Okay, here's where I want to ask you a question. How often do you talk to yourself? Every day? Constantly? Be honest with yourself, because most people don't realize how much of that conversation is negative. I mean, I see it with friends and myself all the time. I'll just be in class learning math or something, and I'll be like, oh, I'm terrible at this, or I can't do that, it just doesn't work. Could you imagine replacing that talk with, I'm getting better at this, or I'll figure this out, it'll be okay? You're basically telling yourself where you're going without realizing it, which is the really powerful part of self-belief. The direction you tell yourself you're heading in, eventually you'll start heading in that direction. It's that simple. Who do you actually want to become? And not what job or how much money you want to make. Think, what kind of person? What would happen if you started thinking of yourself as that person today? Like right now. You'd probably go ahead and walk in a direction that would take you to that pathway. So I suppose what I'm getting at for this video is that you eventually will become what you repeatedly think you are. And your identity influences your actions, and your actions create your habits. And then your habits end up putting in that work and getting to where you want to be. So don't wait until you're that person to start believing you're becoming them. Maybe the person you want to become isn't as far away as you think. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And drop any comments below on what your opinions are. I do love reading them. This is First Draft, and I'll see you next Wednesday.